So, rain. Here we are then for another League Racing video here today on F1 22. Yet again, back for WOR. We are here for the Chinese Grand Prix, which feels weird to say and also quite refreshing. I'm actually not a fan of the track, but it's been that long since we've raced it that it feels fresh again. Middle of the road.
The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:39.7.
Not bad, 6/10 off to be fair. We can definitely work with that. So currently we're in qualifying, and for context, I've also done a video pretty much the same day as this, which I raced at China on Assetto Corsa driving the F1 2023 cars. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out, link in the top right. Ooh, that was pretty nice. That was pretty smooth. But anyway, now we're going to focus on the action. We've got our first proper banker lap on the books, a 1 minute 40.3, and we're currently up by 3/10. We actually found most of that time in the second half of the lap, and we don't do a good job through the hairpin. Admittedly, I got that a bit wrong as we lose a bit of time through the final corner now, though, to close out the lap, and we find a bit more time yet again. Messed up the hairpin. That's okay, we'll take that. It's not a bad lap. And on our second attempt, we get a 1:39.9. After that, we went back to the pit lane, and we're going to go back out. I've got my timing a bit wrong, as we're a bit too late. I wanted to get 2 laps in, but we're only going to get 1. So, here we go. Final attempt. Let's see if we can improve. Currently P8, which is pretty decent. I'm happy with that. We've got a full grid here today, so we'll see if we can find some time. Through turn 1 into turn 2. Not really improving so far. Into turn 3 though, we're going to try and see if we can get a better exit to recover some of that lost time. Exit absolutely on point, and we're up in sector 1, which is great. Yannick Schmidt setting a new fastest lap of 1:39.2, which is 7/10 quicker than what we've done, so that kind of gives us a bit of a benchmark. The track is also improving quite a fair bit as we make our way through turn 6, now into turn 7. Trying to keep the car tight to the apex and not wash out too wide. As you can see, we found a load of time through there, as on my last attempt I just got a bit too much understeer and ran wide. The exit through there, not particularly great, but we're still up by 3/10 in sector 2 as we go purple into now this left-right chicane, which feeds into the banking. Important here to really try and get the power down as soon as possible and stay tight, low, and get the drive out of there. Essentially, try to go flat out as soon as possible onto the back straight. Pretty much matched our previous, attempt through there. Didn't really find too much time, and I haven't really improved in the last 4 or 5 corners, to be fair. Into the hairpin now, though. We know there's a bit of time to find here on the brakes. Just about getting the car stopped. Didn't quite catch the apex, but we still find time overall in that sequence, and we're 4/10 up heading into the final corner. Try to avoid taking too much inside curve. Bit of a moment on the exit, and up to the line we go. And I'll take that. That's not too bad. P5. That's me done. I'll try and push on for 1 more and use none, but I don't think it's going to improve my lap time. Now, as you can hear me say, I did try to push on using none ERS to try and compensate for the lack of battery, but
30 seconds left in the session.
Right, that's done. So we've done our best. It wasn't going too bad. We was actually matching our previous lap up until that mistake, and yeah, P9 for us at the end of qualifying. I'm not going to lie, I'm not mad about it. I think that's pretty decent. If I had to nitpick, I'd probably say P7 is the best we could have done. There's a bit of a gap to P6. So I think a top 7 would have been the best case scenario in this one. But for the most part, I'm not mad about it. Like I said, I've done not even 30 minutes of practice for this race. I was a bit too busy on the day itself. And the practice I did was in the dry. So the benefit of the wet weather qualifying is that it kind of levels out the playing field. And it gave us a chance. And that got us right in the mix. So P9 out of 20. And we can fight with this. Let's see if we can try and hopefully gain a few places in the race. I'll be honest, if I can finish here, I'll be very happy. So let's see what we can do in the main event. Now then, here we go. Time for the race. The main event, the lights are on, hard tyres, pretty much the order of the day as it's lights out and away we go. Good start as we get the jump on Zelenkovic. However, further behind, Bogdan Moldovan with an excellent start in the Alfa Romeo. Into turn 1, 3 abreast as we go to the outside. I'm going to try and see if I can swing it all the way around and keep my position as we head into turn 2. We're going to be compromised here, very tight on the apex as we have to be careful on the power. Zelenkovic fighting back as we try to gain that place from him. Also Moldovan looking for the pass. Down to turn 5 we go. We're going to have to be careful on the inside here to not brake too late and lose an end plate. Exit really good as we get the battery on, and we're just going to edge in front enough that I can just move across and get that position locked in. So we hold on to P9, which is where we started, and we don't lose the place. Try to have a bit of a timid look here at Zelenkovic through turn 8, but didn't quite commit really enough at any point. And yeah, we're now going to try and survive into this hairpin, and more importantly down the back straight into the big braking zone as there's contact through the chicane, and that is going to give us 2 positions for absolutely nothing for free, and we can take that in our stride and move on as we latch onto Leroy Brown. Going to use a bit of battery here to make sure we stay ahead of Bogdan as he's looking to pass, so we're going to have to drain what we can, and we do a good job of it. Happy days. Yeah, happy days as we're P7 at the end of lap 1, and we're up 2 places, which is great. And we're going to find out who's got legit dry pace and who was a fraud in the wet, like myself. I'm happy to follow Leroy. I got the sap from him, so I trust him. He's a good guy to follow. I just hope I can keep up, because he's about half a second a lap quicker than me in qualifying pace. Now that kind of gives you all the information you need to know. Leroy half a second quicker than me, comfortably in qualifying pace. I'm using his setup that he gave me, and he's a good race car to follow. So let's see. There was the chance of charging the battery. I'd probably use it here, but I'm nowhere near close enough to drain it all. I think most people know that as well, other people, so you might see a bit more of a calmer race. Now for context, battery around here is very, very hard to manage. You have to be careful. If you drain it, you're most likely not going to get it back for at least 5 to 10 laps. You have to really save. Oh, rip. Deadly curb.
Okay, clear.
I would love to finish P6 right now. I would take this. Where do I sign? Give me this position. Let me stop the counter right now. And in the meantime, Spinner out the final corner, which gives us another position. So we're in the top 6, and we're holding on as well, which I'm really impressed with. I really thought I'd have no pace, and I'd drop back based off the reasons I said before. And like I said, battery's hard to save, which is another thing. I'm able to actually keep 100% charge and keep up. I've actually got the most battery out of the top 6 at this point, based off feedback from my Twitch chat. So I was actually really comfortable. I mean, we're on lap 14 now, and nothing happened pretty much. Oh, that's early. Wow. And yeah, we're now going to see Cameron Dowd's box as the kind of pit stop phase begins.
Okay, we want you to pick this lap, so push now, push.
Now we're starting to push. And now you're going to see a bit of a pace change, a bit of a shift. But as I was saying, nothing happened in those, you know, from lap 4 to lap 14, those 10 laps, nothing happened. I was super comfortable, able to keep the battery charged and basically, you know, just cruise and keep the tyres, not put too much wear into them. And I feel like I've got some actual pace to burn in this kind of pit stop phase. So let's see. We'll do a few more laps. As long as I can reach DRS off another car. So you can hear that's the plan. We're going to stay out at least a couple more laps, maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more, as more eventually box. Like so. Oh, Daniel sped 5 seconds, which is a great thing. Yannick Schmidt though leads the way. Leroy was 1.1 behind, eventually dropped to 1.4 by the end of sector 2, which could have been a decisive moment. I think had Leroy held on to Yannick's DRS,
Understood. Stopping this lap.
and we could have gained, you know, about, I'd say a second to be fair. Instead though, Yannick was super quick, credit to him, and he actually pulled away and broke a bit of a gap. I'm just basically following Leroy as it's doing me a good favour, and to be fair, I've still got a decent bit of battery left over. I'm still kind of not burning it all, so we'll get some of that back in the pit lane. And now here we go. This is the crucial phase. We've got to try and nail this pit entry and the pit stop and the exit and the driving on the cold tyres when we rejoin onto the track. Really good pit entry. Oh. Perfect. I'm happy with that. Just got to try to fuck up on the cold tyres. Easier said than done.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
Here we go then, back onto the track and into traffic as I believe Fionn McKee went for a undercut a few laps ago, and he's managed to get himself in the mix. We've got a yellow just behind as Fion on the warm tyres gets through, but crucially,
He's got no battery. Stay calm. It's a long race.
exactly that. So we'll just get the tyres warmed up. Jeremy behind on the hards won't be much of a threat, as we'll have the advantage very shortly once the tyres warm up. So we'll look to repass Fion, who I know, based off my Twitch chat and the feedback, he had 3-lap older tyres, which is a hell of a lot around China. That's a lot of tyre wear. And he's got no battery, whereas I've got a pretty healthy amount. So 1 lap later, Leroy got the burners on and started to push, and Fion couldn't quite keep up, and he just lost the RS through there, which is going to basically leave him vulnerable, as we have a really good exit using that tyre freshness and that differential. He weaves on the straight to let me know that he's not going to put up a fight, and yeah, we're going to get by. Use a bit of battery just to make sure we get ahead before the break zone, and that way we don't have to get off the racing line. And yeah, we're going to basically keep going, stick with Leroy, and hope that we can catch back up. The front 4 are in a little train right now, still battling away, and naturally they're going to lose time as they kind of have to break a little bit earlier, one by one, as oh, that was close.
I'm going to try and hold on to this battery now if I can.
As I was saying, they'll break a little bit earlier one by one, as it's kind of like a domino effect, and they don't want to run to the back of each other. And eventually Leroy caught up, and now, as you can see, we are now on the cusp of closing the gap as Simon Lukomski boxes.
Okay, back to P6 we go. P5 with Kjeldsen's penalty, of course.
And yeah, of course, you've got to remember, Daniel Kjeldsen in P2 right now, I believe, net P2, has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which means we're looking at a P5 finish, even if the race finishes as it is right now. Anyway, I managed to get back within DRS and also drop Fion McKee. Bogdan also couldn't keep up and catch up, so pretty much all the way until lap 27, it was a carbon copy of the first stint, really, just kind of, you know, following in the train, managing the tyres, also trying to hold some battery back.
Okay, just 3 laps of fuel remaining now.
I used quite a fair bit to kind of catch up, and I actually dropped down to 10% at one point, so I've not used it over the last 5 laps, and we've managed to get back up to 50%, which is great. We're going to now hopefully use all of that on this last lap, and I'm expecting a little bit of action as Yannick and Cameron,
There you go, this is going to be interesting.
battle for the race lead. So let's see how
See who's got something up their sleeve and who hasn't.
Cameron, Yannick battling for the lead up ahead, as this is the last lap of the race now. Let's see what happens.
Oh fuck, around the outside, what a move. If he pulls it off. And he has, you know. Whoa, what a move that was from fucking Cameron.
A lap ago, Yannick passed Cameron around the outside of turn 1 and turn 2, and the very last lap, the lap later, Cameron in Alpine returns the favour. Anyway, more action.
Come on, Leroy, make a move. I don't want to have to pass you, mate. Don't want to stab you in the back, so give me a good setup.
That was a bit of an internal conflict. I didn't really want to pass Leroy's had a decent race,
Come on, Leroy.
and he did give me the setup, so I don't want to pass him. You know, I'm in this position thanks to him. Anyway, you saw the McLaren have a moment into turn 5. He had multiple moments this race, but somehow kept it alive at all times. Even a brief disconnect, but still kept ahead. Leroy, though, looking to put the pressure on and get by. I'm saving all the battery for the back straight, because that's going to make a massive difference. We set up the chicane nicely to get the exit. We actually get excellent traction, and we stay nice and low and tight to the apex. And look at this, we're right in the gearbox, and this now is tricky. Everyone fighting for the DRS. I don't want to do this, Leroy, and as you can hear, I really don't want to do this, but there's positions up for grabs and I've got to take it. So up the inside we go into the hairpin. Everyone is out of battery. I'm just holding a little bit back in case we need it. I'm going to try and set up the cut back here and get the run to the line as we cut back underneath. Can we get the traction up to the line? Come on. Fuck.
Whoa, Cameron got 20 seconds. What the fuck?
And that was a little added bonus as Cameron Dowd's got a 20-second penalty. Not sure exactly what that was, but that moves us into P4. And who knows, maybe a podium as of right now. There hasn't been, at least last time I checked, there hasn't been a steward's review, but I know incidents did get submitted, so I guess we'll see what happens. Either way, though, I'm very happy. P4, my second best result on this game after Silverstone, I think, in like the month of release or something. In I think it might have been WRPS Joe, I can't remember. Either way, finally, man, it's taken me 3/4 of a game cycle to get a decent result and have a decent race. And it's funny because I practiced the least for this one and somehow I had great pace. I will say credit to Leroy for the setup. It was phenomenal. Really, really smooth to drive, great fun to drive, and it made a big difference. So happy to get these points and get a decent result and a strong finish underneath me. Pace-wise, I felt strong. If you look at the fastest lap, I was the fastest one out of the leaders, and I did actually have the fastest lap up until the very last lap. So big gut to not get an extra point. Either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it, and yeah, a much better race. Leave a like if you enjoyed that one. Subscribe for more daily F1 content and weekly league racing action. As always, guys, finally check out the 2 videos on screen before that, though. A big shout out to the channel members for supporting the channel. But yeah, guys, cheers for watching, much appreciated, and I'll see all of you soon. Check the links down below for my Linktree and my Twitch, and also my Discord for when I'm live. But yeah, see you soon, guys. Take care, and let's go back from me.